Get them while you can.
Yeah, get them while you can, exactly, on the next few weeks.
Somebody's wicked pregnant.
Excuse me, we had the review preview that dropped on Monday for our February and March books. We have the beer show that drops every Friday. We have the clips that come out every day. And, of course, we have the newsletter that comes out on the last day of the month. It is never too late to get that on the Patreon. That's for the $5 tier. All costs $5. You get all the things plus the articles from me, from Colin. It's fantastic. $5. So
$5 foot long.
oh my God.
It's an article that's a foot long. So that's how we're doing that.
Okay.
Happy 2 of 4. What's up?
Yeah, 2 of 4. So let's see. I live tweeted the vast majority of this.
The town hall? Not the town hall.
State of the Union. Yeah, so this segment, of course, about the State of the Union. The first thing I want to say, the man himself performed better than I expected, regardless of what Crowder said, because Crowder talked I felt more shit than was necessary, or even called for. But that is what Steven Crowder does. So,
that's why I didn't listen to his stream this time.
I did, just because I gotta see what, and he also didn't put on an episode the next day. So,
which I gotta tell you, man. I gotta tell you. I'm just trying. Let me get my fucking notes up real quick. Show map. There it is. I gotta tell you, bro. I am so fucking sick and tired. I had a conversation with. Fuck, I don't remember. I might have been talking to you about it earlier today. Shit, I don't even remember. We produce a show with 2 people, essentially. You're the Crowder in our situation, and I'm kind of a mix between what used to be Quarter Black and Gerald, right? That's the way I kind of see it. You drive the show along, and I produce and then add fun stuff.
Yeah.
But he has, in the room with him while they're doing the show, there's 5 or 6 people there. There's 3 people at least just running the production side of it, which is sound clips, changing, cameras, and then inserting little video clips and shit like that. And then they do pictures of, their intern room or whatever. They have tons of employees out there. I'm like, how many people does it take to make this show? Which I'm not going to say it has a high production value.
Yeah.
The cameras are good. The lighting's great. All the sound is good. All this stuff. You don't need that many, dude, to do this. And then on top of that, you have all those people and you only put out 4 shows a week. I get it, man. But if you are going to burn the midnight oil and do a single live stream where you sit there, you get drunk and you talk shit, which I don't think they drink that much on the show. I don't remember.
They did drink that time, but beers, I think they were drinking.
Why are you not getting up and going to fucking work the next day? Yeah. I did. I stayed up and I got hammered with Lauren Southern on IRL. Okay,
I watched that one too.
I got shithoused on Wednesday by accident. It was great, but it just bothers me that he cannot put out 4 shows a week if he has a single minor hiccup. And it's no. Health stuff I get. That's why he's got Dave Landau. But, come on, dude. It's poor form. Timcast is right up there the next day with Majid Nuaz. Yes. Powerful show. But I had a really good time watching the IRL cast when I did that, and then I had to go back and watch the non-commentated version. But it was pretty good, though, I will say, for watching the Timcast's first ever live stream kind of shared. They had a bunch of people on there. I think there was, because you had Ian, you had... Seamus was there. Lauren Southern was there. You got,
the other Canadian guy.
The other Canadian dude. I can't remember his name.
And then Tim.
And then, of course, Lydia nowadays has got more involved for some reason. And so it's just...
some reason.
There's too many people there to be doing that. I think if they had about half the people, it'd actually be good.
He has
Crowder
a hard
talks
time.
Too much.
I think Tim Pool especially has a hard time reining everybody in, Yeah,
he does.
You hear him guys, a lot, and they're just kind of continue to...
Yeah, especially certain guests are like that when they're in certain moods. I watch them religiously, so I feel like I'm very intimately familiar with the characters on that show.
More so than I, yes. Yeah, which definitely the IRL side.
Yeah, the IRL side. And then you're there for the Cast Castle business.
Yeah.
But I usually watch those about once a week, and then I supercharge. Yeah, because they're really fun to just put on at the end of the night when you're smoking weed and just trying to vibe out. Because the music's always got this cool lo-fi stuff, and they're skateboarding or printing shit or something. They're talking now about that 14, 15-foot quarter pipe they're gonna put on the side of the house. bro.
Always building something new out there too. Yeah.
Very, very inspirational stuff.
Yes.
But that was my viewing experience for that. I took a few notes. I got a few talking points that might hit throughout
Yeah.
this thing, so
Yeah.
it'll be
We're just
really
gonna-
good.
We're just going to use my Twitter as a guide. There's
That'll be-
certainly insert everything, but that's because I was live tweeting the vast majority of it. Most of the big points are in here. I have some other things that I wrote down that aren't here because obviously I was talking. Dax was still awake, so we're doing everything. I was forcing him to watch the State of the Union. So,
And then we had to rewatch it basically all week through
Right,
clips on
right.
fucking TV and podcasts and shit.
so I won't say that it was full of lies, but it definitely had some lies, and it was filled with deception.
Yes.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Whether or not they
I call
were,
it deception a lie.
Yeah, whether or not they were straight out lies, I don't know.
Yeah.
There was a lot of half truths, a lot of leading comments, and things like that.
Yeah, it was pretty rough.
Yeah, so I live tweeted the vast majority of it, so we can use my tweets and replies as a guide because there's a couple of exchanges here that I want to go over when that really didn't make any sense. So, and then after I was thinking about it, I thought about how fucking stupid that person was. So we're gonna talk shit about that a little bit because of how stupid this fucking point was.
Love that.
So the first point that I wanted to make, right, was something that I just talked about in the last segment, was the leadership of this country being able to support foreign militias while trying to disarm their own public is never going to cease to amaze me. Because in this speech, right, he opens up by talking about Ukraine, all this stuff, right? I'm tweeting here, glory to Ukraine. Like, he's talking about it. But then 10 minutes later, he's talking about, we show the video, deer and Kevlar vests and all these things. That's a misnomer that we just talked about. That's not what the Second Amendment is about. He's actively trying to disarm American citizens while sending your tax dollars to the Ukraine to, why do we say the Ukraine?
I don't know why
Well, I
he
don't
said-
know where that came from.
Because I believe, and this also I believe came from an IRL. Somebody was talking about it. It might have been Majid, but the idea of the term Ukraine is like borderlands, and so when they would refer to the borderlands, like the Ukraine,
okay.
but Ukraine is also a nation
Now
with a
it's a
people
country.
and a culture and all this stuff, which is I'm relatively new nation, if I recall.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, former Soviet
World War
Union
II, I
state and all that. Yeah, I mean, right when when Russia was getting chopped up. I'm not going to pretend I
don't
know, but yeah, it's like a whole thing, and so it happens. John Podhoretz on the Commentary Magazine is terrible about it. He's always saying the Ukraine, and he finally started to catch himself lately. But yeah, I don't know. I used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
It was over there in the Ukraine.
The Ukraine. All right. Well, we'll do our best.
So
We'll get there.
it's one of those fun things to.
So, trying to disarm you while actively sending your tax dollars to Ukraine
Millions of dollars too.
to arm their militias. We're actively doing that. So, it's never going to cease to amaze me. It's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, we'll get more into that in the next segment.
Yep.
by the
And
way.
the only thing that I have written down here is, I have two things. One's going to be really good. The bullshit argument of the deer and Kevlar vest is so tired and ridiculous. I just can't stand it anymore. So, we'll get to that last point
Yeah.
later. So,
Let me give you my first 2 cents on like the overall
Yes.
from what my experience was it. I felt that it was about 10 to 15 minutes of the State of the Ukraine speech, followed by 40-ish minutes of a campaign speech.
Yes.
That's the feeling I got from this thing. There was no accomplishments listed. There was nothing like that. Trump gets in there. He's like, we did this. And he's got a story for every point, and blah, blah, blah. It's all showy and all this shit. This was not this. This was, hey, Ukraine's awesome. Power to Ukraine. Glory to Ukraine. We're gonna help them out. We're shipping them weapons. We're doing all the things we can for
Look at our
liberty and
ambassador.
freedom. And then also, here's all the things that I want to keep doing. Here's Build Back Better 2.0. Yeah, yep. Which is also, and I like the way Tim Pool kind of coined it. He says it's Diet MAGA. Diet MAGA.
Yes.
And it's 1,000% MAGA shit, dude. This
Yes.
is Make America Great Again all over, except it's just a little different and called different things. I mean,
Yeah.
make things at home. When he dropped the border security line and all this, which we'll get into down the line. This was Diet MAGA, bro. This is what the new Biden campaign is.
Yes. Talk a lot about energy, obviously, which we'll get into a little bit later when we talk in kind of the third segment. We'll talk a little about American energy. I have some really good articles and some charts and shit like that. He talked a lot about inflation and how terrible the inflation was. Failed to mention at all the $7 trillion that we added to the deficit. Somehow claimed that he took money off of the deficit.
Yeah.
I don't know how that could possibly be true. And
it's not.
then
It's
said
just-
that he was going to take another $1 billion off the deficit in the next year.
Yeah, by getting rid of tax cuts. I
Oh,
believe
okay.
that's what it was. You get rid of the
yes.
Trump era tax cuts, which ballooned the deficit, and then so we're gonna get rid of those. The rich are gonna pay their fair share, which means the deficit's gonna go down.
Yes. We're going to pass this infrastructure bill, and it's not going to be infrastructure week anymore. It's going to be infrastructure year.
Decade.
That's what it was. Infrastructure decade, right? And so I said, wait. I don't get infrastructure week anymore?
Nope.
Wait.
All gone.
Yeah.
We've had infrastructure week there for us since we started this podcast, bro.
Yes.
And now that it's gone.
I'm going to miss it.
It's gone.
Talked about how many projects had been started, or not even started, how many had been announced. We're going to do this project. I don't care about the announcements of projects. I care about the progress of projects. There is no progress yet. The money hasn't even been actually doled out from the infrastructure bill. There's still, all it is at this point is the senators and representatives who got effective dog years in that bill and are able to go to their districts and say, this is what we're going to do here because I know that this money is coming, right?
Yep.
Even though there aren't specific dog years, they know where the money is going. It's been appropriated to different infrastructure projects.
Well, yeah.
I don't care about that.
They got that done, so now each one of them can go home and they have their campaign. They have their campaign for re-election right there. We got this. I fought for this in the infrastructure bill. It got passed. We fought for it, so elect me again. This is all designed to push people towards winning in the midterms.
Do you know a really good example that I know anybody who lives in Washington will be able to sympathize with this? A really good example of why I don't care about the projects being announced. I care about when they're finished because there's a bridge that I still pay for and I pay increasing amounts of money for every fucking year
Yep.
that was supposed to already have been paid for. But for some reason, we need to pay more money every year for something.
Other transportation projects.
Isn't that interesting?
So, because what happened with
See,
in
what
that particular
happened
case,
was-
see what happened was they lied to us again, and they just there was nothing in law that said you had to stop charging people for this bridge once it was paid for. So they just keep it going, and then it's the
more.
same deal. Yeah,
And more because it's like
everything goes
$7
expensive.
now.
Hey man, if inflation is rising. Inflation also affects the government, right? They need to get their extra money too. They need to protect their bottom dollar, and they need to make sure that paint on that bridge can be redone in the next 20 years or whatever the fuck. I don't know how it works, but they're just stealing money from us.
They were in the campaign part of this, right? When he's going over Build Back, and they renamed it something else, right? It was like Build America Better. Is that what it was?
It is building a better America.
Building a better
and
America.
then he coughed, which was really weird. Right after saying,
Continually
building a better.
into the microphone.
Mind you, he's 100.
Turn your head, bitch.
I know.
Turn your head.
Who's the poor bastard that's got to clean that microphone at the end of the day?
Yes.
Is he going to be the?
Also-
Oh, is that how Psaki got COVID? Biden coughed on the microphone and then got Psaki COVID. Anyway.
Also, isn't it hilarious how quickly the Democrats went from everyone needs an N95 so bad that we're going to ship them out to you to fuck it, we're going to kiss each other on the mouth on public television because coronavirus doesn't exist anymore.
I
We're going to touch
don't know
faces.
how
Joe
to do
Biden
this.
put his forehead on
Yeah.
someone else's forehead.
that was
Does COVID
creepy.
not exist?
No.
Is that not still real? It's okay that you don't need a mask, but should you really be putting your fucking face on someone else's face?
They
Should you
are
be doing
not
that?
afraid of COVID.
They don't care.
They're not afraid of it, obviously. I mean, and by all rights, they shouldn't, especially
Put his
now.
face on someone else's face.
That was one of the bingo cards on the Timcast.
Yes.
Welcome to the salt of the streets, coming at you every week with this food for thought. Hope you ready to